Okay. So any comfortable position. Let's take a moment here just to kind of check in and notice where we have landed on our mat. Notice the feeling of the earth beneath you. Noticing the sensation of your breath. Trying to get present in this moment, in this space that you are in. Release any thoughts that have to do with anything outside of our practice. Place them even to the side for now. Come back to them later. Know that you don't need to worry about them at this moment. Nothing will change while we're in practice. All right, so our class today, excuse me, is on Satya. So a few weeks ago, we discussed ahimsa, which is the first yama. So our yama is our ethical practices in yoga. First yama is ahimsa, which is nonviolence to others, but I say also to ourselves as well. Today's is Satya, which means truth or non-lying. All right. So it means honesty, truthfulness with your words, thoughts, and actions. Just as our yoga practice asks us to be really honest about our bodies and how we're feeling on any particular day, Satya asks us to be sincere and authentic so that all our actions line up with our values. So we'll kind of dive into that as we go through our practice, but we'll start off here with a bit of a meditation around Satya. So I invite you to take this opportunity to check in with yourself and be honest about what you have arrived on the mat with. How do you feel in your body? What are you noticing that's going on in your mind? What emotions have you brought with you? And then I invite you to scan your body. Are there any places that are not at ease? Remember, there's no judgment. We're just checking in. So as you lie here, I invite you to set an intention for Satya, honesty, for your practice to be therapeutic and not injurious. Injurious? Injurious? Injurious. No injuries, okay? To be honest here about your limitations, obstacles, and your strengths, to find the balance between too much intensity and too little tension. All right, so let's find some small movements here in fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. Good morning, Kelsey. Maybe you take a big stretch here if that feels good for you. And then hugging both knees in toward your chest, perhaps rocking from side to side. Our practice today is on Satya, truthfulness. Be honest about your limitations. Find balance between too much and too little. Okay, so from here, let's start. We're going to start doing something just on one side of the body to begin. So hugging the right knee in towards the chest, activating the right foot, left foot either comes to the earth with a bent knee. Perhaps you extend the left leg long, hugging the right knee in towards you. And then notice where it feels the best for you. Maybe it feels better to move your knee more towards your armpit. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Softening your shoulders, softening in your forehead, in your jaw. So it's gonna be a nice, gentle warm up here. We're gonna hold each shape in our body for about a minute. All right, so 2 more rounds of breath here. And then once that's complete for you, placing the left foot on the earth with a bent knee, if it isn't already there, activating the right foot, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh. So maybe this is enough of a stretch for you. Maybe you take your right hand and push the right thigh away. Or perhaps you draw your legs closer to you, grab a hold of the left leg somewhere, softening the shoulders. So the practice of Satya, truthfulness, honesty, is a moving target. What we believe in and what is right for us is always changing from day to day and skews with the revolving lens with which we view the world. Life is not always one way all the time. So to practice this tenet, We need to continually assess and question what is true at this moment. All right, so right foot is active, allowing the left foot to come to the earth with a bent knee. All right, so option here, you can find a twist with the legs like this or uncross your legs to find a twist. So um, if you're going to try with the legs crossed, we're going to push into the left foot, shift the hips over towards the right side of the mat, and then allow the legs to drop over to the left. That right foot may or may not come to the earth with the knee pointing up towards the sky. If this doesn't feel good, uncrossing your legs, stacking your knees, or maybe staggering your legs, finding a twist here. So if you're in that first position, right foot on the earth, maybe the left hand reaches down for the right ankle, gently pulls it in closer towards your waist. Be honest. Does it feel good for you? Is it something that's in your body? And if not, then don't do it, right? Softening your shoulders. Maybe you look over towards the right side. When we look at our life, we may understand that some of the truths we held dearly about ourselves and others may not be true at this moment. Lies from the past may have slipped into our present version of the truth. Maybe someone with good intentions told you something that you believed in, and these words have bound you to a thought that is no longer real or true. So, whenever you're ready, we're going to bring the legs back to center, repositioning the back flat on the earth. The left foot is going to be on the earth with a bent knee. We're going to find a half happy baby here. So right foot points up towards the sky, knee is bent, activating the right foot. Either grabbing a hold of the back of the right thigh, the lower leg, maybe the foot or the toe. Softening the shoulder. So try to use your arm more just like weight to gently pull the leg down towards you. And if it's in your body, perhaps you extend the left leg long. If a half happy baby is not comfortable for you in your body, find happy baby with both legs up. So Satya asks us to be brave, to gently untangle and challenge our beliefs so we can unburden ourselves of what is no longer valid. It asks us to be honest in what we are doing with our lives, who we are in relationship with, and in our intentions. Sorry. It asks us to be non judgmental so we can welcome and examine all parts of ourselves, our limitations, and the places we have chosen to ignore. It asks us to stop lying to ourselves, and in doing so, walk fearlessly through our lives. Okay, let's release the right side, bringing both legs long on the earth. I invite you to just kind of check in and notice what you feel in your body. What does the right side feel like compared to the left? Do you feel any tingling sensations? Maybe warmth? Maybe you don't feel anything at all. That's okay too. And then when you're ready, bringing both feet back to the earth, knees are bent. Reposition your back flat on the earth, hugging the left knee in towards your chest with an active foot. And if you wish, right leg comes long. Allowing the shoulders to sink and settle. And send the knee where it feels comfortable for you. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw, relaxing and softening here. Okay, and whenever you feel ready, we're going to place that right foot on the earth with a bent knee if it isn't already there. Activating the left foot, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. What feels good for you on this side? Maybe you stay here, push the thigh away, or draw the right leg closer to you. Allow the shoulders to sink down and soften. Notice if you're holding any tension in your forehead, and allowing your forehead to soften. Allowing the right foot to come to the earth, pushing it into the right foot, shifting the hips over to the left side of the mat and allowing the legs to drop over, or perhaps you stack your legs instead. Does it feel comfortable to reach down for that left ankle with the right hand? Notice what's going on with the left shoulder. Can you allow it to melt down into the earth? Perhaps you look to the left. All right. And then allowing your legs to, excuse me, come back to center. Reposition your back flat on the earth. And we're going to find the half happy baby on this side. Left foot comes up, bending the knee out towards the outside of the body, grabbing a hold of the left leg wherever it feels comfortable. And then maybe that right leg comes long. Deep inhales, long, slow exhales. I promise you, we're getting up today. All right. Let's find 2 more rounds of breath here on this side. And then gently releasing the leg down towards the earth. Notice the difference between both sides. And then whenever you're ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you. Then we're going to make our way up and then right over into a tabletop pose. So in our tabletop, wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, gripping your fingers into the earth. Find a little bit of movement in the spine, and then we'll get up and get moving. So actually, we're going to do this. So we tried this earlier this week in a couple of classes. So we're going to find a circle in the body, in the torso. So first, starting by allowing the left side of your rib cage to come out towards the left side, kind of like when we come into a C shape here. And then you're going to circle your spine up towards the sky to come into a cat pose. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. And then allowing the right side of your rib cage to come over towards the right side, making a C shape this way. Circling so that the navel comes down towards the earth, tailbone points up, shoulders roll back and down, cow pose. All right, and then we're going to go again into our circle. So just making your circle here as fast or as slow as you would like it to be. Maybe you find a place that you want to hang out in the stretch. This movement kind of, for me, reminds me of hula hooping, or whatever, doing the hula hoop, and I'm horrible at it. So it takes a lot of effort to think about what I'm doing. Okay, ready? Here's the tricky part, going in the opposite direction. Okay, let's come back to center. So I invite you to either come into a downward dog or a puppy pose. Downward dog, curling the toes under, sending the hips up and back behind you. Let's take a deep bend in the knees to begin. In your puppy pose, melting your heart down towards the earth. Find a couple rounds of breath here. If you're in downward dog, perhaps you pedal out your feet. All right, let's shift our weight back into our tabletop pose. We're going to step the right foot forward between the hands. So a little lunge here. So knees over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. Drawing the navel in, find length in your spine, crown of your head reaches forward. Feel free to use blocks if you need to bring the earth up a little closer. Feel that stretch along the front of the left thigh. Find a couple rounds of breath here. Perhaps you bring your hands to your thigh, pushing your hands into your thigh, lift nice and tall. If you wish, arms reach up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down. Maybe even finding a bite bend, a slight back bend. Oh my goodness. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Maybe it's cactus arms opening the chest up towards the sky. I'm combining a lot of words today. Inhale, reaching the arms back up towards the sky. Let's find a hand down twist. I haven't done this in a while. Left hand comes to the earth. Find length in your spine as you turn towards the right. Right hand reaches up high. Right hand comes down towards the earth. Let's come into our tabletop pose. And downward dog, puppy pose, or child's pose. All right, let's shift the weight back into our tabletop pose. Then shifting your weight forward, tuck the elbows in by your side, slowly, 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 slowly lower to the earth. Ah. All right, baby cobra or any back bend of your choice. Shoulders roll back and down the spine, tuck the elbows, lift the heart, tops of the feet push down. If you're in a baby cobra, maybe taking your hands up off the earth, using the back muscles to hold you up. All right, either reverse push-up or tabletop. And let's come into downward dog, child's pose, puppy pose, whatever you feel like you need. Gently making your way back into your tabletop pose. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Checking the front knee is over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. Find length in your spine, draw the navel in. So we're trying not to collapse in on that front leg. Find blocks if you need to, or come up onto fingertips. It's a little bit of work here to hold yourself up. And a little bit of stretch along the back of the right thigh. If you want, you can make it even a little bit more challenging here by drawing the arms up by your ears, shoulders relaxed. Perhaps you bring the hands to your thigh, push into the thigh to lift. Perhaps the arms come up towards the sky, shoulders roll back and down the spine. If it's in your body, you wish for a back bend, slight tuck of the tailbone, find cactus arms, open the chest up towards the sky. Allowing the hands to come down towards the earth. Right hand comes under the shoulder. Left hand comes to your thigh, lengthening your spine and turning to the left. Perhaps the left hand reaches up high. And down twist. Left hand comes down to the earth. Let's come into our tabletop and all of us into a child's pose. So any variation that feels good for you here, and take a couple rounds of breath. Okay, while you take a moment here, I'm just going to share something with you. The quote by someone I don't know. I don't know the name of the person who said this. Strength comes from living your truth. To be true and authentic is your path to happiness, peace, and joy. You may be mocked by others, but they have no power over you, for you have discovered the power within. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to kneeling here. So you're going to be kneeling at the back of your mat. If you need to, you can scoot your way back a little bit. So we need the space to step forward. It's a little bit of a balancing series here. I've done this one before, I think, with some of you already. All right. You listen to your body. Only do what's comfortable for you. If you need to take the arms out of the equation, feel free to do so. So option for arms, either eagle arms or you're going to cross your arms at your shoulders if eagle arms is not comfortable for you. Okay, so we'll start eagle. I'll lead you through the eagle arm part. Right arm comes out in front. Left arm comes over top. You're gonna bend at the elbows. See if you can take that left elbow off that bottom arm. Perhaps the backs of the hands come together, or maybe you grab a hold of the hands. We want to bring the elbows to shoulder height, soften the shoulders, hands will come away from the face. All right. Here we go. So we're going to come up onto our knees. Again, you can take the hands out if you need to. Try to step the right foot forward into a low lunge. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to move with this a little bit. So draw the navel in. And then hinging forward from the hips, leaning forward. Okay, we're going to come back up. Curling the back toes under. Squeeze the inner thighs, push into your feet and lift. If you need to come out, come into warrior one instead. Feel free to do so. Left foot would be on the earth, toes point up towards the top left corner of the mat. Beautiful. Let's shift the weight forward once again. Hinge from the hips. Weight goes into that front foot. Make sure that the knee's not going past the toes. And then perhaps you take flight, lift the left foot up off the earth. Warrior three with eagle arms. So imagine that you are rotating the inner thigh of your left leg up towards the sky. Toes point down towards the earth. Couple more rounds of breath here while I look to see what's next because I forget. Okay. All right, we're going to come up to standing. Can you come up without putting that left foot on the earth? You're going to send the left knee forward. Crossing the right knee over the left. We're going to sit down into our eagle pose. Hips come back behind you. Keep the hands away from your face. No balance. 2 more rounds of breath. Release the arms, release the leg. Take a big step back here with the left foot, coming into warrior 2. So squaring the hips towards the side of the mat. Arms come out towards the sides. Check the front knee. Okay. Let's find a side angle. Right forearm comes to the thigh, or maybe the right hand comes down towards a block or the earth. If you have any shoulder issues, that top shoulder doesn't feel good, feel free to drop that left arm down by your side. All right, wherever you are, we're gonna try and straighten the front leg. Just a slight micro bend here. So triangle or variation thereof. Okay, let's bend into the front knee. We're gonna look down at the right foot. Feel free to grab a block if you need one. We're coming into a half moon. So right hand is going to come forward and to the right. I'm gonna be honest, today I need a block. Okay, and then you're gonna shift your weight forward into that right foot. Left foot comes up off the earth. We wanna imagine that there's a wall behind us. Head, shoulders, hips come up against the wall. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And then bending into that right knee, slowly step, if you can, the left foot back. We're gonna come back into our warrior 2. Windmilling the hands down to frame the front foot. Excuse me, step back into your plank pose. Lower the knees to the earth, shift the weight forward, tuck the elbows and lower. Find your back bend of choice. Softening the shoulders, tuck the elbows in by your side. And either reverse push-up or tabletop. And downward dog or child's pose. If you're in downward dog, lowering to table. Then we're all gonna come back to kneeling. All right, other side. So if you found the cross at your shoulders, find the opposite cross of what you automatically do. Eagle arms, left arm comes out, right arm over top. Bending at the elbows, maybe it's the backs of the hands, maybe the hands grasp each other. Soften the shoulders, elbows to shoulder height, hands away from the face. Let's come up onto the knees. Helps to curl the toes under for balance, for me anyway. See if you can step that left foot forward into your low lunge. Take a quick peek at that left knee. Make sure it's not past the toes. Okay, we're gonna draw the navel in, hinge forward from the hips. Try not to lean into that left leg. Know that if the high lunge really sucks, you can always stay in a low lunge. All right, let's draw the arms back up. Squeeze the inner thighs, push into the feet and lift. Maybe you come into warrior one instead. Here we go again. Draw the navel in, shift forward, hinging from the hips to come forward. Shift into that left foot, right foot comes up off the earth. Rotating the inner right thigh up towards the sky. We're gonna try and make our way up to standing without the right foot coming to the earth. Not necessarily an easy task, so come on up. Send the right knee forward. Crossing the right knee over the left. Perhaps you sit the hips back as if you're sitting into a chair, eagle pose. Notice what's going on with your arms. I noticed mine were dropping. Okay, ready? We're gonna release the arms, release the leg, take a big step back with the right foot coming into the warrior two. The warrior two, I say. Checking your front knee. Side angle, left forearm comes to the thigh. Maybe the left hand comes to the earth or a block. Again, we want to imagine a wall behind us here. Head, shoulders, hips come up against the wall as much as it feels comfortable, right? So we're being honest with ourselves, what feels good. Only doing what feels right. Come out if you need to. From wherever you are, maybe you start to straighten that front leg. Left hand can reach for maybe the shin, thigh, shin, block the earth. I always find that coming into triangle this way is a little more intense. Okay, we're gonna bend into the front knee. Find your block if you wish. Hand or block comes forward and to the left. This is when I move away from my fireplace. All right, we're gonna shift into that front foot. Right foot comes up off the earth. Again, the wall is behind you. You may need to bring the block forward a little bit more if you're having a hard time coming up. And you can always change the height of the block so it's a little higher. Now, there we go. I know we're getting tired too. Beautiful. 2 more rounds of breath. Bending into that front knee, let's slowly step the right foot back. Warrior two. Hands windmill down to frame the front foot. Let's step back into a plank pose. Your variation of plank, knees up or knees down. All right, let's all drop the knees down towards the earth, shift the weight forward, tuck the elbows and lower. Finding your back bend of choice. Soften the shoulders. Or unshrug the shoulders. Heard that recently, unshrug the shoulders. All right, let's come into tabletop and back into child's pose. Finding deep inhales. Long, slow exhales. So, what is your personal truth? While you were here pausing in this space, what do you hear when you listen? Do you hear your heartbeat? Do you hear your inner self? What is your body telling you now? All right, let's take 2 more rounds of breath. And then gently making your way back up into your tabletop pose. What do you need here? What is your body asking for? Find whatever shape or movement it is that your body is needing. Be honest with yourself. All right. And then whenever this feels complete for you, let's come into seated. Okay, so any comfortable seated position for you. Beautiful. And taking a moment here to just close your eyes. Check in with your breath. Check in with your body. Check in with your mind. We did a quick check in at the beginning of our practice to see how we felt in the body, mind, and maybe with our emotions. Notice if anything has changed. And again, connecting to that intention to be honest with yourself, honest in your practice, making your practice therapeutic and not possibly causing injury. Being honest about your limitations, the obstacles, and your strength. Find balance between too much intensity and too much tension. All right. Opening the windows of your eye. What is she setting us up for? Okay. All right. So I need you to be honest in your body today as we go through the next little bit of practice. So, cow face pose cannot be comfortable for some people in their lower body. And upper body, you need to really listen to your shoulders and what's going on. So I'll give you a couple of different variations here for a possibility. So I'm going to show cow face, and if it doesn't feel good for you in your lower body, then I'm going to offer you to maybe find a half shoelace. Here, okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to draw the right knee in, And then we're going to cross the right foot over. So if it's comfortable for you, keep that right foot active, draw the foot in towards your hip. If this is not comfortable, if the hip doesn't want to settle, or maybe it's just uncomfortable in your knee, your pose today is going to be foot on the earth, knee out to the side. Feel free to grab a block if you need to, okay? Not quite the same, but that's okay. We need to be honest, right? Keeping your feet active. Is it in your body to shift over to the left, tucking the right foot under? We want to stack the knees. Sitting up nice and tall. If it's not in your practice, doesn't feel good, be honest, right? Okay. Some days it's not in my practice. All right. And then I always get the arms mixed up, but we'll do both sides. So who cares? Right arm reaches up towards the sky, sending the right hand behind you towards the top of your back. So the right elbow points up towards the sky. So we'll start maybe here, right or left hand reaches up and over for that left elbow. We're going to send the head back. So it might depend kind of in your body, the length of your arms, how it feels, but trying not to tuck your chin. Perhaps you stay here, or if it's in your body, the left arm is going to reach back behind you. You're going to reach for fingers. Maybe you don't find fingers. Maybe they don't clasp. Maybe you grab a hold of your shirt. Maybe that left arm stays on top of the elbow, which is where mine is going today. Maybe you find length and stay in this, or perhaps you hinge from the hips and fold forward. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. One more round of breath. And then slowly coming back up. Releasing the arms. Activate the feet to come out. So maybe you push over towards the left side to untangle the legs. Maybe you give them a shake. All right, remember each side is a little bit different. What feels good on one side may not feel good on the other. So let's hug the left knee in. Again, you always have the option to just drop the left knee to the side. You'll still get the stretch here in the leg. A little different, but that's okay. We're going to cross that left foot over, activate that foot, and slide the foot closer to the hip. Only as much as you feel comfortable, find your sits bones. Activating both feet. Maybe the hands come over to the right side, tucking that left foot under. Trying to stack the knees. Trying, doesn't mean you have to. All right, sitting up nice and tall. Left arm reaches up towards the sky, hand comes behind. And then the right arm reaches up and over, finding that left elbow. Send the elbow up towards the sky. Soften your shoulders. Sending your head back. Maybe you stay here, or maybe that right arm comes behind to find the bind. Fingers come together. Not for me. Taking a couple rounds of breath here. And then perhaps, if you wish, hinge forward from the hips. Fighting 2 more rounds of breath. And then slowly making your way back up, releasing the arms. Activate the feet as you gently take your feet out from under you, give them a shake. I feel like I am a little overprotective of knees. I have bad knees. So. All right, ready? We're going to come down onto the floor. Let's find a little bit different today, constructive rest. So in our constructive rest, feet are on the floor, knees are bent, arms come out to the side, palms face up. So it's like we're just sitting like this, but a little different. We're gonna walk the feet out towards the sides of the mat. Allow the knees to fall in and just soften. Ooh, notice what your back is telling you. Maybe you need to reposition the back on the earth. Softening your hips. Softening your shoulders. Does it feel like you're trying to hold yourself up somehow? Maybe in the legs? Release any tension you feel here in the legs. We want to try and be still in this pose. So being honest with what you feel in your body. The one thing about this shape that we make with our body that I have noticed is something comes up different for each person. Something different comes up. It might depend on what's going on in your body, where you're holding tension, maybe even just something as simple as how much sleep you've had. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, long, slow exhales out. Softening your jaw, softening around the eye, melting into the earth. Staying connected here with what is coming up in the body, the mind, the heart. Not pushing anything away, but rather lean into it with love. Right. So, is there something else your body needs? If so, please find it for the next minute or two. Maybe you stay in this shape. Maybe you come into a final resting pose lying on the earth that feels comfortable for you. And if you're finding another shape or movement, I will let you know when it's time for our final rest. This is kind of one of my favorite moments to be a teacher when I can see people. Sometimes it's hard to see on Zoom because I love how everybody takes a different shape. What feels good for them is different, right? And everyone's honoring themselves, honoring their bodies. All right. If you're not already in your final resting shape on the earth, please coming to that now. Let's take deep inhales in through the nose into the diaphragm and long, slow exhales out. So, this next quote is by Joseph Campbell. It's about following your bliss, which is also following your truth, right? Follow your bliss. If you do follow your bliss, you put yourself on a kind of track that has been there all the while waiting for you. And the life you ought to be living is the one that you are living. When you can see that, you begin to meet people who are in the field of your bliss, and they open doors to you. I say, follow your bliss and don't be afraid. And doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. If you follow your bliss, doors will open for you that wouldn't have opened for anyone else. So while you are here, if you wish, I have a mantra for you. If it helps to keep your mind from wandering. Our mantra is Sat Nam. Sat means, let me try this again. Sat means truth. Nam means identity. So I am truth, or truth is my essence. So as you inhale, maybe you say to yourself, Sat. And as you exhale, Nam. Sat, Nam. Truth is my essence. I am truth. allowing your breath to move into your diaphragm. And maybe you slow down your breath. With every exhale, maybe you sink and settle into the earth a little bit more. So we started a little late. I started a little bit late. So I'm going to go a few minutes over. But if you need to go uh, at 11:15, now is the time to start making your way out of your practice. If not, find your breath and continue to soften. Sat. Um, in this space of silence before you move into the world, listen again to your deepest voice. There is nothing to fear from turning within and listening to your deepest desires. and listen for your truth. And then gently bringing your awareness back into the room. Perhaps making some small movements in your body. What movements feel right for you in this moment? And whenever you are ready, rolling over to one side, any side that's calling for you, and then making your way to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. Taking deep inhales in through your nose, into your diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. May your day be filled with peace, love, honesty, and gratitude. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day.